What would you do if a portal opened up at the bottom of the ocean and massive, city-destroying monsters started walking out? Well, humans tried normal weapons, they completely failed, and then they realized they had to build something even bigger just to survive. The story starts in a deep ocean. An interdimensional bridge suddenly opens up. Out of nowhere, massive monsters called Kaijus start pouring out of that bridge. Humans do everything they can to stop them. Every single weapon and attack is put to use. But pretty soon it becomes clear that against creatures, this massive, normal human weapons are pretty much useless. Humans realize that if this keeps going, the whole human race could be in serious trouble. So putting aside whatever differences they had, different countries join forces and start working on a solution together. To fight the Kaijus, giant machines are built, which are called Jaegers. But controlling such a massive machine alone was way too much pressure for a single pilot. Because of that, a two-pilot system is created, where two pilots work together to operate a single Jaeger. Slowly but surely, humans start winning against the Kaijus. The Jaegers start giving the monsters a tough fight, and their pilots become famous as heroes all over the world. Now, the main characters of the story, Raleigh and his brother Yancey, are sent on a new mission. Their target is a Category 3 Kaiju, codenamed Knifehead. Both of them head inside the head section of their Jaeger and start putting on their specialized combat suits. After that, the hatches open and they are lowered down into a massive mechanical body. Its name is Gypsy Danger. This machine is so huge that everything around it looks tiny in comparison. As Gypsy Danger is being moved toward the docking bay, Raleigh and Yancey start syncing up with it. This means a neural link connects them to each other through their memories. Because of this connection, they can control a single Jaeger together. During all this, Marshal Stacker orders both brothers to stay in their position and guard the base. But Raleigh and Yancey don't follow that order. In the middle of the storm, 10 people are still trapped outside, so both of them head out to save them. Right at that moment, a massive kaiju emerges from the ocean and stands right in front of a fishing boat full of people. But just before the attack happens, Gypsy Danger also rises up from beneath the waves. Right on time, Raleigh and Yancey ambush the kaiju. Both of them land heavy punches one after another and finally knock it down with a powerful head slam. But the kaiju gets right back up and charges straight at the Jaeger. Just then, Gypsy Danger grabs its head and gets ready to fire the plasma cannon on its other hand. There's a massive explosion, and the impact is so intense that the kaiju flies backward and falls back into the ocean. But right then, the marshal tells them that they're still getting the kaiju signal. This meant the monster wasn't finished yet. Suddenly, the kaiju emerges from the water again, and right off the bat, rips off one of Gypsy Danger's arms. After that, it attacks the Jaeger's head directly and tears half of it apart. Yancey dies in this attack. Now Raleigh has to pilot the Jaeger completely alone. Raleigh keeps trying to fire the plasma cannon, while on the other side, Knifehead keeps tearing Gypsy Danger apart piece by piece. Finally, Raleigh somehow manages to fire the plasma cannon. The heavy blast hits the kaiju directly, and right after that, both of their signals disappear. Raleigh survives, and all by himself, brings the badly damaged Gypsy Danger to the shore. A little later, a man and his grandson find Raleigh and save his life. Then the story skips straight to 5 years later. Now the United Nations is deciding to shut down the Jaeger program. The reason was that the Kaijus were destroying Jaegers faster than humans could build new machines. Their decision is to build massive walls around big cities to keep the Kaijus from getting inside. Marshal Stacker is not ready to give up. He's still trying to keep the Jaeger program alive. On the other hand, Raleigh has also left the pilot life behind. Now he's making a living by working as a builder in the Coastal Wall program. Just then, a helicopter lands there. Raleigh is shocked because Marshal Stacker himself steps out of it. He has come to offer Raleigh a chance to be a pilot again and wants him back in the Jaeger program. The memories of his brother's death were still running through his mind all the time. So he didn't want to pilot a Jaeger again. But Marshal Stacker tells him something that changes his mind. He asks, "Where would you rather die? While building a wall or fighting inside a Jaeger?" Finally, Raleigh agrees and reaches Hong Kong with him. There, Raleigh sees Mako for the first time. Mako is Marshal Stacker's adopted daughter. Stacker shows Raleigh the other Jaegers too. One of them was Crimson Typhoon, China's Jaeger. After that, Raleigh sees Russia's Jaeger, Cherno Alpha. This was one of the most dangerous and powerful machines. Then Raleigh meets Striker Eureka's pilots, Chuck and his father Herc. Both held a brilliant record of 11 kaiju kills. After this, Marshal Stacker explains his plan. Their intention was to load a nuclear weapon onto Striker Striker Eureka. Then, along with the other Jaegers, it would be taken all the way to the bridge. After reaching the bridge, they will detonate the bomb right inside the portal so that the bridge closes forever and the Kaijus stop coming for good. After this, the team meets the two scientists who were working on this entire mission. One of them was Herman, who was a physicist, and the other was Newton, a kaiju biologist. Herman explains that in the near future, kaijus will start appearing even faster than before. Not just that, their numbers will also keep increasing constantly. Then he explains his theory. He believed that due to the increasing activity in the bridge, the portal would stay open long enough, so they would have a chance to get the nuclear weapon inside it, and as soon as the bomb detonates inside the portal, the bridge will close forever. But Newton doesn't agree with Herman. He believed that they don't even have full information about the kaijus yet. Newton points out that all kaijus have the exact same DNA. Because of this, he thinks they are actually clones, not different individual creatures. According to him, it's important to understand the enemy before defeating them. Newton wanted to use the Jaegers' mind drift technology to connect with a kaiju's brain to get more intel on them, but Stacker wanted immediate results. So he skips Newton's idea and goes with Herman's planning. The next day, Raleigh starts looking for his new co-pilot. For this, several candidates come forward, but Raleigh easily beats everyone one by one. Just then, Mako steps up. This time, the fight wasn't easy. Both start fighting each other, and slowly their movements sync up perfectly. The fight goes on for several rounds, but in the end, Marshall Stacker steps in and stops it. After this fight, Raleigh is convinced that Mako could be the perfect co-pilot for him. But despite that, Stacker flat out refuses to give Mako permission to go into actual combat. On the other side, Newton ignores Marshall Stacker's orders. He quietly sets up his lab equipment and tries to connect his mind with the kaiju's frontal lobe. As soon as the connection is made, Newton starts seeing some visions. In those visions, he sees the kaiju headquarters and realizes his theory was right. He finds out that kaijus are not natural creatures, but are actually being engineered by aliens. Newton's condition starts getting worse fast. Luckily, Herman arrives just in time and saves him. After a lot of thinking, Marshall Stacker finally changes his mind. He goes to meet Mako and fulfills the promise he made to her. Now Mako gets permission to pilot a Jaeger. When Mako comes inside the Jaeger, Raleigh is surprised to see her. At the same time, he's happy because he finally found a co-pilot he could trust. After that, both start the drift process. Slowly their memories start connecting and their minds link up with each other. Meanwhile, Newton explains that the kaijus are actually weapons made by aliens. These aliens take over different planets and keep using them until their resources are completely drained. Stacker wants Newton to drift one more time, but for this, he needed another kaiju brain. Then the Marshal gives them the contact of Hannibal Chow. Hannibal was a black market dealer who traded in kaiju organs. On the other side, things start going wrong inside the Jaeger. During the drift, Raleigh starts seeing memories of his dead brother. He gets so lost in those memories that he starts losing his focus. Because of this, the energy levels suddenly spike and the Jaeger system starts glitching. Over there, Mako also starts getting pulled into her past memories. Due to the drift, her memories also start flashing back and things slowly start spinning out of control. Actually, when Mako was little, a kaiju had killed her parents. Ever since that incident, a deep fear of kaijus was stuck in her mind. During the drift, those same old memories come right back in front of her. Raleigh tries to pull her out of those memories. Slowly, she starts mistaking those memories for reality, and in that state, activates Gypsy Danger's plasma cannon. Things get extremely dangerous, but right on time, the crew disengages the weapon systems. Because of this, the entire facility is saved from being destroyed. Raleigh immediately goes to Mako. Just then, Mako slowly snaps out of those scary memories and regains her senses. Over on the other side, Newton finally tracks down Hannibal Chow in the black market. But as soon as Hannibal finds out that Newton drifted with a kaiju's brain, he loses his temper completely. Hannibal explains to Newton that this connection isn't just one way. If Newton peeked into the kaiju's mind, then on the other side, the aliens have also gathered info about Newton and humans. Meanwhile, at headquarters, new reports start coming in. Seismic activity showed that this time, it wasn't just one, but a double event was about to happen. This meant 2 Category 4 kaijus were on their way. Looking at the situation, Marshall Stacker sends Cherno Alpha and Crimson Typhoon to fight the monsters. Meanwhile, Striker Eureka gets ordered to stay back to defend the harbor. As far as Raleigh and Mako were concerned, Stacker doesn't include them in this mission. The Jaegers start moving toward the ocean, helicopters drop them off near the coast, while Striker Eureka follows right behind them. A little later, Crimson Typhoon detects movements around it. Then suddenly, Otachi pops out of the water and attacks directly with its tail, throwing Typhoon into the water. But Crimson Typhoon quickly recovers and starts using its famous thundercloud formation. But when they try to finish it off with their blades, Otachi blocks their attack. It quickly leaps up, flips Otachi in the air, and then throws it back into the sea. After this, Otachi focuses on Crimson Typhoon again. It attacks repeatedly with its tail and finally rips Typhoon's head off. Seeing their comrades getting taken down, the Russian team immediately charges toward Otachi, but this time, Otachi spits acid from its mouth. Meanwhile, the Australian team moves quickly toward the battlefield to save their comrades. But right then, another threat pops up. Leatherback emerges from the ocean and starts attacking Cherno Alpha. Otachi now moves forward to face the Australian team. Striker Eureka slams it down immediately. Over there, Cherno Alpha's condition gets even worse. Leatherback pushes it deep into the ocean and then hits it with an attack so brutal that the Jaeger explodes from the inside. On the other side, Striker Eureka grabs Leatherback and lifts it up in the air. Then it throws the kaiju back into the water and gets ready to finish it off by launching its missiles. But Leatherback senses the danger. Just before the attack hits, it releases a massive EMP pulse. The impact of that pulse is so huge that Striker Eureka shuts down, and almost all the electronics in the city stop working too. Stacker is left with no other choice, so he gives Raleigh and Mako permission to enter the battlefield. Their Jaeger ran on a nuclear reactor, so the EMP attack had absolutely no effect on it. Meanwhile, Newton was also running around the city. After the drift, Otachi had headed out to find him and was causing mass panic across the city, destroying buildings along the way. On the other side, Striker Eureka was badly stuck. Just then, Gypsy Danger makes an entry from behind and draws the Kaiju's attention. Leatherback charges at Gypsy with full force, but Raleigh and Mako move quickly, get behind it, and destroy its weapons. This makes Leatherback even angrier. It picks up Gypsy Danger and throws it toward the shore. But Gypsy lands without any major damage and immediately runs back toward Leatherback. After this, Raleigh and Mako start raining down punches, but the kaiju quickly recovers and charges again. This time, Gypsy blocks it and gets the plasma cannon ready. The very next moment, they start firing continuous plasma blasts. The attack was so powerful that Leatherback's arm gets ripped off, and it finally passes out and falls down. After defeating Leatherback, Gypsy Danger immediately heads out to find Otachi. Raleigh knew that if they were late, Otachi could reach Newton. A little later, Otachi senses something massive coming from behind. It turns around and finds Gypsy Danger right there. But this time, Gypsy wasn't empty-handed. It was dragging a massive cargo ship behind it. Raleigh and Mako start using that cargo ship like a sword. They hit Otachi repeatedly and start pushing it back. However, after some time, Otachi counters. But Raleigh and Mako dodge the attack just in time. Right after dodging, Gypsy Danger charges straight at Otachi and grabs its tongue. After this, both put in all their strength together and rip Otachi's tongue right out. But right then, a huge surprise pops up. Otachi suddenly spreads its wings. The very next moment, it grabs Gypsy Danger and starts flying up into the sky. Slowly, both reach above the clouds. As the altitude increases, Gypsy Danger's systems also start shutting down. Things were going downhill fast, so Mako decides to use the last remaining weapon. She pulls out the sword and cuts Otachi into two pieces with a single slice. As the kaiju dies, Gypsy Danger starts falling down. Raleigh and Mako put all their remaining energy into one big blast, which slows down their falling speed a bit. Finally, they crash onto the ground. But surprisingly, both survive this crash. After Gypsy Danger's victory, Raleigh and Mako head back to headquarters. Over there, Newton makes a huge discovery. He finds out that one of the dead kaijus was pregnant. Because of this discovery, they get a fresh opportunity. Now they could drift again using that newborn kaiju's brain. This time, Herman also decides to join Newton. Both wanted to gather as much info as possible before the final mission started. Both go into the drift and start seeing the secrets hidden inside the kaiju's memories. This is where they find out a highly critical truth about the bridge. Both realize that the team's current plan won't work. They immediately head out to give this information to Marshal Stacker. During that time, Stacker had also made a big decision. Because of Herc's injuries, he didn't want to send him on the mission anymore. So Stacker decides to pilot Striker Eureka himself. Before the mission starts, Chuck says goodbye to his father. He knew that this might be their last meeting. After this, both Jaegers, now the world's last hope, step into the ocean and head straight toward the bridge. As they go deeper, they realize that nothing was clearly visible underwater. A little later, they get very close to the bridge. Meanwhile, Newton and Herman quickly reach the command room. Both immediately tell Stacker and the rest of the team to stop. Then they explain that their plan actually won't work. To get inside the bridge, you need a Kaijus DNA. Without it, the portal won't let anyone in. But before they can even explain the whole thing, the radar picks up another signature. This time, a brand new Kaiju comes out of the bridge. That was Slattern. Raleigh and Mako move forward to help their comrades, but Scunner attacks them immediately. Both somehow push it back, but right then, Raiju attacks from behind and rips off one of Gypsy Danger's arms. After that, Raiju charges at them at full speed. But instead of running, Raleigh points his sword straight in front of him. Raiju crashes into the sword due to its own speed and gets cut into two pieces. Slattern attacks Striker Eureka and pushes it away from the bridge, but Stacker and Chuck strike back too. Both stab their swords deep into it. Slattern calls for help immediately. In the next moment, the remaining Kaijus also charge towards Striker Eureka at full speed. Striker realizes that escaping now is pretty much impossible. Right then, he makes one final call. He decides to use himself as a bomb to clear the path for Gypsy Danger, so Raleigh and Mako can reach the bridge. The very next moment, Stacker detonates the bomb. A massive explosion happens, leaving total destruction across the entire area. Gypsy Danger somehow tanks the impact and starts moving straight toward the bridge. After this, Gypsy Danger reaches inside the bridge along with Slattern's body. Over there, due to the lack of oxygen, Mako starts passing out. Raleigh immediately puts her in an escape pod and launches her safely away. Then he goes to the nuclear reactor himself and manually sets the explosion timer to 60 seconds. After setting everything up, Raleigh also takes off in an escape pod, while Gypsy Danger keeps falling down toward the aliens' base. Looking at the machine, the aliens can't even figure out what's about to happen. A few seconds later, the nuclear reactor goes into meltdown, and a massive explosion takes place. The blast was so huge that everything around it gets destroyed, and with that, the bridge is closed forever. Sometime later, both Mako and Raleigh are found safe. The whole world starts celebrating their victory, and with that, the movie ends right here.